Do something different, man.
Right,
Ain't you sat in this, your own gym settee before?
I don't come to the gym to get comfortable.
Don't you? It's all about the pain.
It's all about the pain.
You know what? I will say before we even start, welcome. It feels like I've spoke to you a couple of times this time, and you got to hold the mic by your face, otherwise I won't. Oh, yeah. I love that tattoo. Can you show that tattoo, please? I love tattoos. Can you show it to the camera?
I don't know if you can pick that up there.
Don't know, can you? That is beautiful. Talk to me about that tattoo.
It's very specific, you know what I mean? It's the sacred seal of Solomon.
We like it.
Google it if you want the full explanation. But basically, you know, King Solomon, back in the day, Israelites and all that. And it's supposed to represent, you know, divine protection from all negative energies.
Really?
And all other things as well, you know, in spirit and in tune of all life forms and all, you know what I mean? It's got more of a deep meaning if you Google it, but I can't recite off the top of my head. But and obviously my name's Solomon, so I thought if I'm gonna get a tattoo, you know, why not be specific to myself, something that actually means something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we like it. We like it. Solomon was actually responsible for probably like linking Israel with Egypt. But you'll probably know that as well, because people say that he believed in the sun rather than God.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of conflict there, but it's a very, very good name. So it's nice to see that. I like tattoos. I know I'm probably drifting off, but tattoos are my thing, innit?
You just get started. Might add to the collection. There's actually 72 different seals of Solomon. So
I didn't know that.
You can get different, like they're all, each one represents a different meaning. Some are for protection from negativity, some are for wealth, some are for health, some are for like certain things.
Wow.
There's just like 72 different ones with all different specific meanings, but this is the sacred seal, which is separate. It's the sacred seal, like the different one, and then there's 72 seals.
No, I didn't know that. That's a bit of education.
Education, you know what I mean. So,
but we're back with the heavyweight. You've just done another session. This is session 2 for you at the gym. We know that you're a bit of a gym maniac. You live in here.
Yeah.
You train hard, but I want to just rewind and let's go back to your fight. What was it like having your first fight, professional fight, back in Brum?
It's good, you know, just being at home is different, innit? It's, you know, you ain't got traipse over the country, you know, you're at home. You just feel like you're at home, you know what I mean? It's just on your doorstep. It's just a little better feeling, and people you know that can all come, you know, it's local. And, you know, if after the fight, you know what I mean, you got family members that you know, ain't seen me fight before. You know, friends, people from, like, I went to primary school, I ain't talked to for like 20 years and that, messaging me, can I get tickets and that? They must obviously follow me. You know, people popping up from all over that are coming out to see me, and, you know, I ain't even seen them for years and years and years, you know what I mean? So that's a benefit, and it's good.
Did you feel any, like, nervous pressure, though? Like, because you're at home?
Yeah.
I know you're used to travelling and that, but it's like, you know, it's like all eyes because this is your city now. It's not like Manchester or whatever happens over there. It doesn't matter. It's like, this is like my home city.
Yeah, not too much, to be honest. I just, you know, I'm boxed all over. I know what you mean. Like a few bits of, like, you know, there's more people here to watch me that have come local and to see me. But it was more, it felt like I just got more support than anything else. Instead of being more nervous about it, I felt like, you know, I've got more people supporting me here.
Yeah, I like that. Talk to me about your opponent, because I didn't realise he was very, very short notice. Short notice, southpaw, and I will say that you boxed him, from my opinion, you boxed him so comfortably, I forgot that he was a southpaw. You know, sometimes boxers panic, like southpaw, it's tricky, it's this, it's that. But we didn't get that with you.
Nah, it wasn't that short notice. It was announced short notice. The fight was announced, but he'd known for weeks. You know, we know the opponent for weeks and weeks before that. But we was waiting for Matchroom to announce, but they didn't for some reason. But, you know, he had a decent amount of notice, you know, and he was someone that's obviously in shape anyway. But yeah, like the southpaw thing, it's hard to get southpaw sparring anyway, even though I knew for a few weeks I was just sparring orthodoxies. I managed to get some sparring with Dempsey McKean. Luckily, he was boxing the week before. So went down there, got a good couple of spars down at Matchroom Gym with Dempsey McKean. That was really my southpaw sparring, you know, but I got some good rounds in with him. So that was, you know, a quick time to adjust. Another spar with another amateur kid with Joby, you know, Emmanuel, big 6'8".
Oh, Emmanuel.
Yeah, yeah. He come down. He's an orthodox, but he turns it around a bit. So he did switch a little bit for me for southpaw, which was good. But really, the like that was just like three spars really for the southpaw, but you know I just dealt with it. You know, I've adjusted well to it, and yeah, it's comfortable really.
3 spars for a southpaw. Let that sink in. I think the thing is with you, and I've always said, you're a really good boxer. I like your style. I like the way you move around the ring. You are very comfortable in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes across that you almost like you got your eyes closed and you're boxing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, you made it look that good. It didn't. I forgot that it was a southpaw that you were boxing because you didn't seem to find it tricky.
Yeah. There is things that were tricky, but
Like what?
just the stance, sometimes lining up the shots off the jab. But like you said, I made it look comfortable because I was gauging my distance with the lead hand and letting the backhand go. But it is tricky to go twice with them because sometimes you hit them with the first backhand and they lean to the offside of you, and it's a bit awkward to like get the 2 phases, and it's not as easy to box with them off the jab. You're not jabbing with them,
Yes.
you're fencing their jab at the same time, so it's like you can't jab with them and counter their shots. Like
Okay.
the symmetry's not quite there. You have to sort of position yourself differently, and sometimes you have to settle for just getting 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
As opposed to like going 3s and 4s sometimes, because they've got awkward right hooks you can lean into at a funny angle.
Yeah.
You can sometimes lean into the backhand where you wouldn't get caught with unorthodox. So you just gotta. I felt I just didn't take too many risks, to be fair.
Do you think that's why you probably, because you had him hurt a couple of times, and I thought, here we go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you're going to jump on him now.
Yeah.
But then it was like he was holding back. And
Yeah,
I
it was
like,
a bit tricky. You know what it was? A few times I hit him with the first phase attack, and he was holding a lot. You seen how much he was holding me in the
and
fight.
going behind you, that was
Going
a bit
behind
weird.
me. So like, because he was on the offside, he was holding after I've landed the 1-2s, and he's sort of holding with the other side, and then and like I couldn't. And it just made me restart the attack then. A few times with him holding,
So like
and
it's kind of like tactic to stop that onslaught of punches.
Yeah, stop the attack. Sometimes.
So you'd have to reset.
Yeah. And it is a bit more tricky with a southpaw to go against sometimes. But there's little things you learn and that, you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, like I said, it was a good fight. I wanted to see you get the stoppage.
Yeah.
Because I know that's kind of like, obviously I read Twitter, I read comments. It's what I do. It's to find out what's going on. And everyone was like the power's kind of like that little, it's like the elephant in the room with you.
Yeah,
it's like, he's a heavyweight, but why isn't he knocking people out?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, what would you respond to that and say, like, just honestly?
Yeah, the thing is, the power's there, and you've seen in my last fight when I stopped him. As soon as I landed a right hand, the geezer was wobbled. But I've had tough
And
opponents.
Sokolowski.
Sokolowski, I had him wobbled. You know what I mean? But I'm just learning. I think with me, it's gonna be accumulation of punches. Sometimes, yeah, maybe I gotta just go through the gears a bit more. I've only had 7 fights, and I was into 10 rounds in my 5th. So maybe I got in back of my head is a bit like I've got 10 rounds here. I can't go blowing them out.
Okay.
Sometimes. So, but now I know I can do the 10 rounds comfortably. You know what I mean? So now I know I can step on my foot at times, and yeah, it's just things to learn. But you know what I mean? The power's there. I had him hurt a few times, but he was holding on. You guys understand. The geezer's tough. He's a solid guy. He was a solid guy.
Yeah, coming in shape.
Good shape. In his prime years, 28 as well. He's not like a over the hill fighter. Technically limited, but in shape. Tough, rugged guy, you know what I mean? So a southpaw, a bit awkward, but I was hurting him with the right hands, but I just probably needed to just step on the gas again. He was holding me as I was preventing me from doing that a few times, but maybe I need to not settle for that, you know what I mean?
No, I like that though, because that's kind of like you being honest, like reflecting on it and saying, yeah, I probably could have done this, because everyone knows that you can get the rounds in.
Yeah.
We know that you can run 25 miles if you feel like it.
I've done about 25.
But your engine's never the problem.
Yeah.
Your engine isn't questioned. Everyone will say, when he's got a solid engine. He's got this amateur pedigree. Those are the introductions. But then it's like the final thing that we want to hear, and he's knocking geezers out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From the fan,
it'll definitely come as well, especially with guys that boxing me more and come for it a bit more. Them stoppages will come. Like with that Ismail fight, he come swinging for me, and I've done him in 2 rounds. Someone that's gonna box with me. I've been kind of matched a bit tricky, to be fair, early in my career.
you have had some good
I could have gone in there with that last guy, you know, Southport, and had a slugfest with him, and people, oh, what a great fight, trading, taking 3 shots, hitting with 4 shots. People would have all been saying it's a great fight. But I coming out getting fucking my head punched in and that, and it's great for them fans. But me going home, I got my head punched in. You know what I mean? Whereas I've gone home, not a mark on me.
Yeah, true.
I've outclassed him. His face is but I busted him up. He said to me after the fight in the ring. First thing he said in that ring, he goes, "Man, you fucked me up, man." He goes, "I've never been fucked up like that before." That's exactly his words. You know what I mean? And I'm leaving there pretty much unscathed. So it's a long career. I'm not in there to go and have barnstormers for my first early fights and take a load of punishment and come out again with brain damage, you know what I mean, like an idiot. You know what I mean? So just because I make it look easier, someone on a lower level wouldn't make it look as easy and comfortable as that, you know what I mean?
And I think that's the thing with us, because we get like boxing fans, as you know, we're fickle, aren't we?
Yeah.
We just want everything yesterday, and we're quite demanding, and that is why I wanted to speak to you, because I wanted you to get your point across to say, oi, remember, I've had 7 fights. Remember, I've had like 3 spars before taking on a southpaw, working in that fight with a southpaw, and you still managed to outbox him.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm saying, like the southpaws, I ain't had that many rounds with them. So I'm still in there, learning as the rounds go by. I was still comfortable. You know what I mean? But it's a long career, at the end of the day.
All right.
It's all about where you come out at the end, no brain damage, and when you fight the top guys and beat them the same way, then it'll all come together. You know what I mean?
So what is next then? Because this is the thing that I spoke to your manager obviously on the weekend at the boxer show, and I'm like, what is next? What are we going to see next with Solomon Dacres? Because it's like, I get a lot of publicity. We see a lot of things with Johnny Fisher, and it's like you're kind of like there in the background. I know it's because you don't like mouth off on the internet. That's not your thing. I get that, but it's like we still want to keep an eye on you. So it's like, what are you doing? What are you up to? What's next?
Yeah, I think we've got options now. Really, my manager's getting onto different options. We want to maybe defend that English title. Jeamie TKV is the name that we tried to offer for that last date, and didn't take the fight then. But I think it's something that we could probably make for the next one.
Talk to me about that before you carry on.
So that's an
sorry
option.
to interrupt. I know there was a bit of to-in and fro-in. I did have a little chuckle to myself on social media with the two of you. But I'll tell you one thing. You guys didn't know that Solomon fought Jeamie in the amateurs. So let's go back to that.
Yeah, like, they mention my name, but I don't speak too much. I'm not going to go on banging on about things, but obviously I box him in the amateurs and I beat him comfortably. So, his name in nothing I ain't dealt with before. And that was when I was a novice, and even on the GB squad, I'd probably had about, I don't know, 15 fights or something like that. I was, a novice still. And, I've come on like international circuit, won ABA titles from them, GB titles, boxing, World Series and all that, since then. I'm sure obviously he's improved as well. But that's what I mean. I don't need to say too much because I know what I can do and I know what I'll do, you know what I mean, with these guys, and they know it in the back of their minds as well.
So here's a fight that I think you were asking for that fight to be in August.
Yeah.
So what happened there? Because it's like, okay, so obviously that fight didn't happen because you fought the South African chap.
Yeah.
But what was the glitch? What happened there? Why that fight didn't happen?
Yeah, we offered the fight and they didn't take the fight. That's what it is. It's down to that. We put the fight. Do you want to fight on this date? Response comes back basically no. You know what I mean, for that date. So, I've got a fight. I'm fighting on that date, so I've had to fight someone else. Simple as that from my perspective. But if we get him to get in the ring by the end of the year, we can do that.
Activity, that's another thing I was going to say with you. You want to keep active and getting that fight done. It's a good fight. It's domestic.
Yeah.
We love our domestics. There's a little bit, when you say history, you've fought him before in the amateurs, you've won in the amateurs. You guys have had a little bit of to-in and fro-in on social media. So it gives for a bit of a history.
Yeah, it's good to get these build-up for these. What you want these fights, there's something that it's a bit of interest, no one wants to see you keep fighting all these foreigners that you never spoke to, never spoke to in your life, never seen them before, or they're not really coming over with no menace. They want to take their opportunities, but they're not really. There's nothing Then no needle, you know what I mean? They're not gonna really talk too much about you, you know. It's good to get these guys that want to, try and say this and that, and you give it some, take it back, and then just builds up for a good fight when you get in the ring.
It is, because I think a lot of people don't realise about you. You're quite witty. I know, like you've like you said, you're all like smiles and Mr. Polite, but underneath all of that, you're quite witty. We saw that when you had your English fight, because obviously the Northern, Rob Ismay.
Yeah, he was perfect for it. He was perfect for it. They just come out with all the drivel, and when you just got facts to just hit him back with the facts, you just shut him straight down. But people like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And
we do, because it was entertaining.
Yeah, and I'm very intelligent. I don't say too much, but as you can see, when he had something to say, I just shut him down with facts. You know what I mean?
Very witty. We like that. So hopefully we'll get that fight soon. So Jeamie Takivi, if you're watching, you probably are. Who knows? Let us know what you think. If that's a fight that you want, are you going to take it this time, etc., etc. And let's get the ball rolling with that.
Yeah, should be able to do that. Just get my manager on whatever options. Someone want to fight for the English, we can do that. You know what I mean? I'm putting the title there and saying, you want to fight for it, let's fight for it.
But I'm going to say to you, because obviously your amateur pedigree, all right, you're not an Olympian. However, you still box at a very high standard.
Yeah. I could have easily. If I'd have gone to the Olympics, I would be Olympic medalist. It's simple. It's a selection matter, really, not an ability matter for me. I could have been sitting here as Olympic medalist, but that's all done anyway.
Do you feel like a bit pissed about that sometimes?
You gotta leave that behind, and that's just the way it goes.
Do you sometimes you think, I could have done that?
I know I can, but the good thing, obviously, when you got Olympic medal, you take that. That's history. I believe I would have definitely won an Olympic medal if I'd just been selected for the qualifier. But these cycles work the way they work. The Olympic cycle, some things are out of your control. And the good thing with boxing is, the Olympics ain't the be all and end all. A lot of people right them wrongs in the pro ranks, and that's what happens at the end of the program. That's really what matters at the end of the day.
I like what you
say. So you do get that chance to
I might not got to the Olympics, but I tell you what, I'm going to have all of you.
Yeah, you get to put it all to bed in the pros. You know what I mean? So you can still live with yourself at the end of the day. After the pro games finish.
Yeah, I like that actually. So when you look at the British horizon, we've got obviously you've got Fraser Clark as well. In fact. Talk to me about Fraser Clark's performance on the weekend. Obviously, former teammate, etc., etc. Yeah. What did you think of his performance with Dave Allen?
Allen come out like didn't really want to throw much, didn't really want to do much. I think Allen was just looking for maybe if I can throw a swing one shot and hurt him, I might take my chances. But it didn't look like he had anything left in the tank. I don't think he was very motivated or
really.
I don't think he had it about him. You know what I mean? No hunger in there. Fraser just kind of look. He went through the motions. It was just he was just landing the shots, and I don't think he really wanted to do too much, or he was working with what he had in front of him. To be honest,
right.
He was just working with what he had in front of him, and he didn't have much in front of him. So
how is it then for a fighter? Then like when you have that, it's not a negative fighter as such, but then it affects your performance because you can only work with, like you said, what's in front of you.
Yeah. You just got to work with what's in front of you. Sometimes, people just, if you didn't knocked him out in a round or two, then what you've been doing, you know what I mean? But, I don't know what he was feeling in the ring, Fraser. He probably was comfortable in there. Maybe thought early on, maybe Dave Allen has got a bit still about him. Obviously, as the rounds went on, you realise he didn't really have much left in the tank. Maybe he was wary, thinking, maybe if this goes down the stretch, I don't want to gas myself out and whatnot. But it just looked like it was a bit more like going through the motions kind of thing, really.
Yeah. What do you think about the low blows or alleged low blows? Did you think they were low?
I didn't watch the replays, but some was, body shots maybe on the hip. But there probably was a couple that went a bit low, and I think it's probably more from the Dubois and Usyk fight that the refs are hotting up on it. That's why.
Thank you.
Otherwise, he probably would have let it. He would have probably let it go. The ref would have probably not said nothing. Well, Dave was complaining, but he had his shorts down. His box was like up here, and his shorts was all low. Dave Allen, so like I don't know, man. His box looked all weird on his bout line anyway, but if it was low or whatnot, you know what I mean. You just throw it to the ref, to stop throwing it.
I'm glad you said that because. Even with the girls, even when Lauren Price went in against Lolita, I can't remember her surname, the first thing they mentioned about it was like high shorts. And I'm like, this
Yeah,
like
yeah,
belt
yeah.
gates really
Yeah,
like
yeah.
gone right across with everybody. Make sure you know the belt line this and blah blah blah.
Yeah. The rest probably just just hotting up on it because no one wants to be at the center of another controversy or this and that. So yeah, it's probably just. But a lot of refs do say before if the belt line is low, or they might say anything below here is low. They
Okay.
will tell you. So it's up to the ref's discretion. But I think a couple did slip a bit low. Yeah.
So Daniel Dubois, Alexander Usyk. What did you think of that performance? And you've sparred Dubois. I
Yeah,
remember you
yeah.
sparred Dubois, Joyce, a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
of them.
All of
But
them.
yeah,
Yeah, Usyk, he was on another level really. He's landing the southpaw jab a lot. You know what I mean? And he was it was a tough fight for Dubois. He got him with a one wonder punch that could have been. You know what I mean? Could have been, should have been.
do you think that was low?
It was borderline.
I said
Can be given. It
borderline.
was borderline. It can because he was coming up from like a bolo from underneath.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's gonna meet from underneath. So
So it
when it
pushed you
hits,
up,
yeah,
innit?
it is coming from lower. Whereas if he'd landed it from a straight right hand, probably wouldn't have given it because it's coming from high and just connecting.
Fair enough.
But it can be given low. But Usyk played. If the ref started counting 1, 2 for a 10 count, Usyk would have probably got
You
up.
reckon he would have?
He would have got up, man. Yeah, he would have got up.
So he was just using the tools that he's got.
Yeah, but it did hurt him. It definitely did hurt him. Dubois should have jumped on him. Usyk
Yeah.
managed to recover and he's
So
still
yeah,
hurt him.
but then what happened? Like, because obviously Usyk's given 3 minutes to recover,
Yeah, you get 5 minutes in it.
and then obviously you're thinking, okay, Daniel's going to jump on him now, and he didn't.
Yeah, I
What
think.
happens there,
I
Solomon?
don't know, man. Like, Usyk probably just nullified him, and Dubois. I don't think he's like the most confident. Sometimes I don't know, man. He's waiting for the instruction off the corner. Like maybe in his head he didn't quite think, let's go for him. I don't know what he was thinking. And Usyk, he's a tricky guy to just go and pounce on, because he was jabbing his head off. He was losing every round. Dubois, don't get me wrong. Him with a couple of shots, but he was losing every round. And he got dropped twice. You know what I mean, with a jab. But yeah, he's tricky, man. Maybe he just couldn't find it to put the foot on, I guess.
Zhilei Zhang then's rematching Joel Joyce, your teammate as it were.
Yeah,
What do you think about that this time?
Yeah, I hope Joyce can just make these adjustments. I think being a juggernaut, he realises thought he could just walk through anything that anyone takes, but he was taking a lot of backhands, and you know what? He was still standing and he was still going, but the human body can only take so much. You know what I mean? And there's big punches. I think he just needs to make a few adjustments because it's literally that southpaw backhand that was the main problem. If he can limit them even to 50% of what he took, I think he can still get him down the stretch because Zhang was slowing down and Joyce was actually still coming on, but his face was just fucked.
Oh, his gait.
It was just fucked. But yeah, he's just got to make them adjustments. Just get away from that, even if he's just blocking it. Just keeping it off the line or something. Just to reduce them clean backhands that he's taking, and he could. I hope he does do it because I like Joyce. He's one of my favourite. Even though he's in my division, he's one of my favourite guys in boxing.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Joe Joyce. You know what I mean? He's just a nice guy.
He is,
what
isn't
I mean? So I hope he can just do that and put himself back to where he was.
So Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. This started out, this fight's happening in December, and now, Solomon, it's getting further and further away, and it's just looking like it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
how do you see the fight going if it does happen?
If it does happen, someone's just getting knocked out, and there, someone's just getting sparked out. It's not going to
points.
It's not going to points. No chance. It's going to be like first come, first serve, basically.
Okay.
I think Wilder will be more confident to go for it, to let his hands go first. If Joshua can stay away and nullify it. You got to remember, Wilder still had had 3 back-to-back losses to Tyson Fury. Really, 1 was a draw. 2, he got busted. It was a good back and forth fight, but he's been manhandled in them fights really. So he ain't no spring chicken. And he's not got the same sort of confidence he used to have. So he might be.
Why does that happen though? What makes you lose your confidence as a fighter? And this is obviously you sitting in your bedroom on your own at night contemplating things. I don't know what goes through a fighter's mind.
It's in the ring. Well, when you've had that run he's knocking people out, championship, getting to the titles and that, and then things don't go your way when things have been going your way for such a long time. You know, it's like going from the top of the mountain, crashing down in it, and you got to rebuild. It's like reclimbing that mountain sometimes. So that's just what happens, isn't it, in boxing? Sometimes you might not. And you know, you get older. You know, you get older. Your body don't do the same things that it used to do. Maybe when you get into your 30s, your mid 30s, heavyweights are mature a bit later. But you know, these guys are getting towards their mid 30s now. Maybe their prime years has passed. You know what I mean? The body's not like the same as what it used to be. You know, many different reasons, and it's probably more mentally as well. You know, what you're doing in the ring, how you're feeling, and what you feel like is happening there, and what's happening in fights.
There's so many aspects to boxing that,
Yeah.
like I said, us sitting on the outside as fans don't really see it. And, you know, the pressure, like I said, from the beginning, when eyes are on you, you've got the public, like, expecting, like, everything from you all out. I mean, look at Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith, the first fight. And then everybody literally wrote off Chris Eubank Jr. and said he's not going to do it. I sat on the fence. I says, I'm not calling it because you just don't know what was going to happen. What did you think about that fight on the weekend?
Yeah, like I was the same, to be honest. I thought like Liam Smith's done him, like cleaned him out last time. I thought if he just is the same sort of fighter in that ring, he'll do him again. That's what I thought. But Smith was, you know, a shallow what he come into last time, and Eubank Jr. come out, you know, he was all guns blazing, and probably
Excuse the pun.
yeah, literally, and he probably free Mac,
Sorry.
free big Mac, top shotter, yeah, literally come out and fucking, he probably thought Eubank, because he was landing a few combos and he was just stepping off and have a look, and nothing was coming back from Smith in the early rounds, and he probably thought. And then over the rounds, nothing was still coming back. And then he probably thought, you know what? Confidence starts building. You know, I could let my hands go. Dropped him with the uppercut. Probably thought, I got this. You know, I got this. And his confidence went. It started letting his hands go and that. And it was quite one sided. It was it surprised me, to be fair. So yeah, man, he turned the tables on that one.
And this is what we love about boxing, because you just can't really all the time. You can't call it. Do you know what I mean? It's full of surprises. Listen, I'm going to cut it there because we're getting on to half an hour already. Half an hour? I've took up half an hour of your time.
Overtime, man.
Listen, get behind Solomon Dacres. Follow him on social media. Are you on Twitter? Yeah, you are.
I'm on Twitter.
I've you a few times.
Yeah, but
I
don't check it though. I don't really check it. I just click on it, just press the notification, and just go off it, man. To be honest.
So Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
Even TikTok, yeah, I put a few. No dancing videos. Just
you're not doing any dancing?
Nah. I just put the
no
boxing. Twerking, you know. That's to get paid for that kind of shit, man.
Yeah, you ain't doing that.
I ain't doing that shit,
you
man.
Ain't doing I know you ain't doing that.
No amount of money, you get me?
You sure?
I'm sure, man. I'm sure.
I might want to bookmark this. 27 minutes in, no amount of money.
No amount of money.
See you moving like Wilder. Anyway, listen, Solomon Dacres, get behind him, follow him, support, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man.
It's been a pleasure. We've got to do it again.
You know where I am, man. I'm right here every day.
Every day.
I'm here every day, you know.
Every damn day.
You know where I am. There you go.